So, the Pirates win the poop series. But I'll tell you, they played anything, they played like everything except that this weekend against the Phillies. If you want to take an exception to today, that's fine, whatever. But, you know, maybe this team has finally figured it out, and maybe this team really does believe in themselves. I'm not sitting down here saying that they have figured it out or that they have completely turned it around. But I'll tell you, the Phillies, they have the best record in the MLB. They've been playing like the best team all season. And for this Pirate team to take 2 out of 3 against them, including extending their winning streak to 6 games after Saturday night, that is a massive confidence builder right there. What's going on, everybody? I'm Mac, back with another video. As always, do me a favor, like, comment, subscribe, follow on Instagram. Link is down in the box below. Pirates take 2 out of 3 against the Philadelphia Phillies in Pittsburgh to kickstart the unofficial second half of the season. And let's get on to these games. Friday night was just a phenomenal effort. This team was down 3-0 after the first inning. And the only bad thing that I got to say for Friday, really, I didn't want to say this, Feisty Pirates, it really looks like that he's lost confidence. And again, I don't blame that so much on him. I blame more of that on the coaching staff. But Perez isn't innocent either. I mean, you can tell when he's on the mound, he's losing location. His off speed doesn't look good. You know, his fastballs are a little bit slower, and he's given up a lot of home runs. He gave up 2 home runs Friday night. And if it wasn't for Martin Perez, the Pirates probably wouldn't have even needed to come back. This team, like I said, this team was down 3-0. And then in the blink of an eye, they had tied the game at 3 with all 5 of the first at-bats being productive at-bats. Andrew McCutchen got a single in. Brian Reynolds continues to hit the cover off the ball. O'Neal Cruz, who I think is really starting to turn it around, and he's really starting to make me eat my words a little bit, not totally, but a little bit, about me calling him a bust. RBI double. Nick Gonzalez grounded out, but it was enough to score Brian Reynolds from third base, and then Rowdy Tellez a sacrifice fly. So 5 at-bats, all productive, and the game's tied at 3. You don't got to mash the ball 500 feet, or you don't got to hit it to the Allegheny every single time. I'm telling you, I'm sitting down here right now saying I would much rather have 5 singles than 1 home run, because your team is playing like a team at that point. They're not being antsy at the plate. They're taking what the pitcher's giving them, and they're just showing that, hey, yeah, a home run counts as 1 run, but the pitcher out there has an obvious weakness, and the Pirates needed to hit off of that, which was Aaron Nola in this case, and they exploited it. 5 at-bats, all of them being productive at-bats. Then the Phillies took a 4-3 lead. Pirates tied it up at 4, and then the Phillies appeared to have sealed the game up with a 7-4 lead late in the game. But then came the final couple innings. So I'm just going to address the 9th inning with the Pirates down 7-6, bottom of the 9th. How about Nick Gonzalez with the game tied at 7 and knocks in the game-winning RBI? That's now 7 game-winning RBIs for Nick Gonzalez on the season. And yes, I'm saying it. Nick Gonzalez is the truth. Nick Gonzalez is a pivotal part of this team, and I think he needs to be your everyday second baseman. Nick Gonzalez is that dude. I mean, there's a lot to take away from Friday night's 8-7 win over the Phillies. Like I said, Brian Reynolds continues to just hit so well. Nick Gonzalez, I just talked about him. But how about that bullpen? This bullpen has been very rocky for the majority of the season outside of a couple of series. But the bullpen, for the most part, Friday night did extremely well. They held that Phillies offense to just one run, and they minimized the damage. Went into damage control all night, cleaned up most, not all, but most of Martin Perez's mess. And that right there is what I'm talking about with the Pirates. The bullpen just needs to minimize the damage, and they need to be able to perform in these high leverage situations. They haven't been doing that most of the season. But this series against Philly, it was there. Enter Saturday night. A 4-1 Pirates win over the Phillies. Andrew McCutchen got things started off with a home run. Well, really didn't get started off because that came in the sixth inning, but he got the scoring started off in the sixth inning, I should say, with a solo home run. Then O'Neal Cruz once again hit an RBI double, and then a 2-run homer that scored Brian Reynolds. And that was all the Pirates needed because Luis Ortiz was just brilliant Saturday night. 7 shutout innings for Luis Ortiz. Only allowed, 3 hits? I didn't see the show. I didn't see the game because I was at a concert Saturday night. But from the highlights that I saw, Luis Ortiz was just brilliant. And the Pirates took the series against the Phillies. And at that point, they had clinched the season series over Philly. So Sunday, Phillies won at 6-0 on Sunday. So, a sweep was ambitious. But if you're a team like the Pirates that's now 50-49 on the season, and you're having another pivotal series coming up against the St. Louis Cardinals, I got to tell you, you should be in the mindset of who cares if we didn't sweep Philly. We took 2 out of 3 against them, and we took 4 out of 7 against them for the season. And this team has now shown that they can pretty much just go toe-to-toe with anybody. Now, the offense absolutely still needs to keep hitting its way. The offense still needs to keep, producing, and I think the offenses look better in recent weeks. So it's not like we don't have to keep that up, for any much longer. You're in for a rude awakening right there. Because you need this offense needs to just continue to find gaps. They need to continue to hit with men on, and they need to continue to be aggressive. The Pirates ran the bases very well against the Phillies in this series, so that's something else that they really need to do here. Run the bases well and execute the fundamentals. And you're starting to see that mesh with this team right here. Them being over 500 at this point in the season, when in a very jumbled National League wildcard race, has to speak for something. It has to count for something, man. This team was 5 games under 500 at the beginning of July? 4 or 5 games under 500, at least something like that. Now they're a game over. And we're in the latter part of July. Get the job done against St. Louis. You want to establish that you're a true contender and you're a true threat. You got the Cardinals coming up. They've taken 4 out of the first 6 against you this season. The last time they came to Pittsburgh, they embarrassed you. Return the favor to them. Get the job done over St. Louis. Leapfrog them in the standings. Just like with the Phillies, it doesn't have to be a sweep, even though I would love a sweep. But you need to win this series against St. Louis. Losing this series against the Cardinals is just simply not an option. And the Pirates have gotten off to a great start with this unofficial second half, and they've been playing some pretty good baseball over the course of the past couple weeks. The last time the Pirates lost a series was 2.5 weeks ago, and it was against those Cardinals. So, yeah, you now play the team that was the last team to beat you in a series. Because remember, they split that 4-game series with the Mets. Then they took 2 out of 3 against Milwaukee, swept the White Sox, and now they take 2 out of 3 against Philly. So they have not lost a series in 2.5 weeks. Make that continue. And let me know what you think down in the comments below. I'm Mac, checking on out for the day. Have a good one, everybody.